Tears came down my face, and I tried to control my emotion, but it is unbelievable.
On a personal note, as an African American, I'm especially proud.
I watched finally one of the newscasters cut to the chase and said, "He's won, it's over." Pretty moving moment.
Joining us now from Atlanta, Martin Luther King III. He's the eldest son of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the human rights advocate and community activist. He's the founder of Realizing the Dream Incorporated. Okay, Martin, what was your reaction last night?
Incredibly wonderful. This is an amazing time for America, monumental time for America and the world. And I think my mom and dad are smiling down on America, saying that a major milestone has been achieved for this nation.
What was it like at his church, the Ebenezer Baptist Church, last night?
The crowd was so electrified and chills were going through our bodies. I've never heard that kind of energy, enthusiasm in Ebenezer Church. It was absolutely wonderful, just extraordinary.
Do you think, honestly, that your father would have thought this would have happened in his son's lifetime?
Oh, yes. I absolutely think. In fact, certainly had he lived, maybe we may have achieved this milestone earlier. I think, number one, he and Mom would be so excited about this period, but then they would rush to tell us that over 40 years ago, Dad began a campaign to eradicate poverty in America. And that's one of the areas we got to find a way to focus on, something I'm trying to focus on, because until all Americans have access, not just the middle class, it's wonderful. We got to stay focused on the middle class, but we really have to find a way to focus on the least of these God's children.
You know, in all honesty, I don't think poverty was mentioned much at all in this campaign.
It certainly was not. Certainly after Senator Edwards got out of the race, it was no longer mentioned. But he certainly raised that issue, and I and many of us will continue to raise this issue, because I'm convinced that in 5 years, when we achieve the 50th anniversary of the March on Washington, that we can reduce poverty by 25%. In 15 years, we can reduce it by half, and by 20, we can almost erase it. With all the wealth that exists in this nation, all the many opportunities, even with a bad and very terrible economy, I'm sure we can put, in a real sense, Humpty together back again. Because to some degree, America's like Humpty Dumpty. We've sort of fallen apart a little bit. But it takes an extraordinary leader like Barack Obama to put this nation back together.
Martin, what do you think your father would have thought of him?
Would have thought of Senator Obama, President-elect Obama? Well, number one, he would first say that he has incredible vision. A visionary is what is needed for this time. Obviously, he is incredibly bright, one of probably the brightest people that we've seen in a long time. And finally, that he has the potential to become one of the greatest presidents of our nation.
One of the greatest presidents, you're saying?
Yes.
Wow. You miss your dad? I bet a lot.
Well, of course. I mean, for me personally, have not had any opportunity as an adult to converse with him. So naturally, I miss him. But of course, I miss my mom even more, because she's only been gone just a few years.
Well, I had the honor of interviewing both of them, and you come from great stock. Thank you, Martin.
Thank you for
Martin
the opportunity.
Luther King III. You know, Larry King